Have you ever stopped to think what it would really be like to live an entire day in a language that isn't to your own? I'm not talking about a trip, where everyone expects you to be a foreigner. I'm talking about right here, in your city, in your daily routine, with the people you know. Well, I had this crazy idea. The rule was simple. For 24 hours, I could only communicate in English. From good morning to good night. And man, what I discovered on this journey went way deeper than simply practicing new vocabulary. It all started the night before, with that naive optimism of someone about to go bungee jumping for the first time. It's going to be easy, I thought. It's forced immersion, it'll be great for my development. Little did I know, the first few hours would already feel like a test of psychological endurance. The alarm went off, and my first instinct was to mumble a "just 5 more minutes" in good old Portuguese. But no, the challenge had already begun. I got up and, looking at my dog, the first phrase of the day came out half stuck. "Good morning, little guy. Are you hungry?" He looked at me with the same confused face that would follow me for the rest of the day. The first big obstacle, the bakery. All I wanted was some toasted bread with butter and a cup of coffee with milk. Things I order on autopilot every single day. I got to the counter, and while the attendant looked at me with a friendly smile, my brain short-circuited. How do you say pão na chapa in English? Bread on the plate. That didn't sound right. Grilled bread? Maybe. I chose the safest and most humiliating route. I pointed at the bread and said, "One of this with butter and hot." He frowned. I tried again. "And 1 coffee with milk, please." Thank God coffee with milk is universal. I walked out with my coffee and a cold buttered roll, feeling the curious stares on my back. First lesson of the day: the simplicity of your life depends directly on your ability to communicate. Things only got worse. The doorman greeted me good morning, and I replied with a, "Hello, how are you?" His expression shifted from polite to utterly puzzled. He probably thought I was joking or had hit my head. I just smiled and walked on, feeling an invisible wall being built between me and the world. At work, things were even more complicated. I work with a Brazilian team, and I had to explain in a meeting why I was talking that way. In hesitant English, I tried to explain my personal challenge. Some thought it was funny, others clearly thought I was the weirdest guy in the office. Productivity, of course, went out the window. Tasks that would take minutes to explain in Portuguese turned into long monologues filled with hand gestures and desperate searches on Google Translate. I felt less intelligent, less capable. It was like part of my personality had been switched off. Lunch was lonely. I didn't have the mental energy to try to socialize in another language. I ate quietly, listening to the conversations around me as if they were background music. That's when I realized how exhausting it is to constantly think before speaking. Every sentence was a project, with planning, execution, and a high chance of failure. The afternoon dragged on. I got a call from my mom. Answer or not answer? I picked up. "Hello?" I said. Silence on the other end. "Mom, it's me." Her voice came back full of concern. "Son, are you okay? What happened?" Trying to explain the challenge to her in English was the funniest and, at the same time, most frustrating moment of the day. The conversation ended with her saying, "All right, my son, later you explain this craziness to me properly. Take care." By the end of the day, I was exhausted. Not physically, but mentally. I got home, and the only thing I wanted was to be able to talk about my day, vent about the struggles, laugh at the awkward situations. But the rule was still in place. I turned on the TV and put on a movie in English, just so I wouldn't be tempted to hear my own language. It felt like a deep kind of isolation, even in my own home. When the clock finally struck midnight, I took a deep breath and felt a relief I've rarely felt in my life. The first thing I did was send a voice message to a friend in Portuguese, telling him about the whole saga. Speaking my native language sounded like the most beautiful melody in the world. This experience taught me much more than just a few new words in English. It taught me empathy for every foreigner who tries to get by in our country. It taught me to value the richness and the ease of being able to express exactly what I feel and think. It taught me that a language isn't just a set of words, but the tool that builds our identity, our relationships, and our reality. It was a day of noisy silence, of accompanied loneliness, and, above all, of immense learning. So, What did you think of this craziness? Have you ever thought about doing something like this? Or have you ever been in a situation where the language barrier was a huge challenge? Leave it here in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. If you enjoyed this journey and want to see more videos and reflections like this, don't forget to leave your like. It really helps the channel grow. And of course, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. I'm leaving another video right here that you might like about the biggest difficulties we Brazilians face when learning a new language. Click over there to check it out. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I'll see you in the next video. Big hug and see you soon.